mic moment to start the day. What are you going to do? It's been that kind of day. Welcome to the Gary Ayd Show, a truncated version today on until just 11 today. A 1 hour program. Good to have you aboard. Gary Ayd, Rich Anselmo. And what are we going to rant about today? Oh, I know. We got the Lakers and the Knicks tonight, Rich. This is a big game.
This should be fun.
By the way, normal platforms, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Cave Talk Radio app. Find us there. There's cavetalkradio.com. So, talking about the Lakers and Knicks. This is a game that really is, I think, more important for the Lakers than the Knicks. Because the Lakers are going to have a almost full roster. They were without Austin Reeves, but that's a manageable loss. He's a good player, but it's not like critical.
And I found out this morning, not sorry to interrupt, but he'll be back on Thursday, it looks like.
So he's getting there.
Yes.
That's good.
Very good.
Okay, so the problem I have if you're the Knicks in this game is I think the Lakers are going to be coming out hungry. They should be. This is a game that, like I said, probably matters more to them strategically and just from a team building and expectation setting standpoint than it does the Knicks. The Knicks are kind of like the Giants were this year. They've established who they are. They've established their identity. They've established their style of play. And I believe, like the Giants, they have established a baseline floor for what they will and won't, for what they will do. But also, like the Giants, I think this team has a defined ceiling of what they're fully capable of. And I think they play near that ceiling most of the time. See, the Lakers are sort of the opposite of that. We don't know how, we kind of have seen how low they can go at the start of the year. I don't know that we know their ceiling yet. We know their style. This is an offensive team that is generally devoid of defensive abilities, especially when Davis isn't playing. But that's part of the mystery going forward, is if Davis plays on a regular basis, does that defense take a noticeable step up? My expectation is that at some point it would. So this is a really important game for the Lakers. And this is a game that the team they're playing, they're on the road. It's the second day of a back-to-back. The team they're playing plays hard, plays their game consistently, doesn't beat themselves, doesn't turn the ball over a lot, but is a limited team in terms of what they're capable of at maximum. The Lakers' ceiling is higher than the Knicks' ceiling, in other words. So can the Lakers play at their highest levels or close to their highest level to beat a team that they have more talent than, but who is more of a team than they are, more together and more consistent than they've been to this point? That will tell me a lot in terms of where this LA team is heading, because the Knicks are going to be what they are. The Knicks are a consistent, reliable team, and you're going to get a known effort from them. So can the Lakers match that? Can they surpass that? Can they beat that? It's going to be interesting to watch. I mean, yesterday, of course, they rested everyone and predictably lost. Not a surprise there. But, you know, everyone's playing tonight as far as I know, so other than Reeves. So I think this is a really important game for the Lakers. I think it will tell us a lot about where they are. Whether the Knicks win or lose, I don't think my view of them changes even a little bit. If the Lakers win tonight in a convincing way, you might start thinking, well, maybe they're turning the corner now that they're healthy. Or if they lose, you might start thinking maybe it's not going to happen. I think this is sort of a watershed game to a degree for the Lakers tonight, Rich. I really do.
I agree. This is a good chance to see them with everyone there.
Yep.
Almost
everyone.
And now that Davis has had his sufficient rest, I'll be interested to see how he comes out tonight.
Oh, what a dig.
Why did he miss the game yesterday?
I love it. He didn't fall asleep until 10:01. He needs to be in bed by 10 o'clock in order to be ready for the next day. Oh, man. That was funny. That was really funny. Uh, anyway, yeah, there you go. Yeah, so we'll see. I think, personally, that the Lakers have a good shot to win this game tonight. I do. I think this is a team that has a lot of ability. I think a lot of that ability was sort of nurtured and developed more consistently when when Davis was out. And I think the question remains is can they integrate Davis to his abilities while maintaining the engagement level and production level of the guys who stepped up in his absence. And that's the $1,000,000 question because that's what a team does, right? And
Right.
this is a good you talk about it being a watershed for the team. This could be a watershed stretch of games for the coach for Darvin Ham. To this point, I think Ham has done a credible job with getting Russell Westbrook to buy into a bench role and kind of reviving him a little bit. He still has his ups and
As
downs. Yesterday was a down. He shot 33%, but he did have 17 and 10, almost a triple double. He wasn't a nothing. But
you have to expect that from him.
right, exactly.
He's gonna have those nights. He is nowhere near a pure shooter.
Oh, yeah, no.
And probably never will
never,
be.
never will be.
Yeah, he's not gonna
no.
change at this point.
No, so you give Darvin Ham a lot of credit for that. Um, the rest of this team, I don't think he's done anything that I would consider wrong or made any big mistakes, but I don't know that he's done anything really impactful besides the Westbrook adjustment, which is significant. So I think this is his next great challenge as a young coach is now that we have our team back, at least for maybe a little while, can we put it all together? Can we keep that balance of the rest of the roster being productive and engaged while integrating Davis back into a significant role? And can Davis make the adjustment of being aggressive while maybe not getting quite as many touches as he used to make room for some of those other guys to remain productive and engaged? That's a challenge that Ham is going to have to tackle. And this is the type of thing that the great coaches always find a way to do at a high level. Thibodeau does this. Eric Spoelstra does this.
Right.
Steve Kerr has done this. Certainly Phil Jackson was the master at this. So Darvin Ham has an interesting challenge on his hands, and it's going to be interesting to watch.
He does, and I'm not that worried about Davis. I think he'll find his way fine. He always does. I mean, we've seen it before.
Right.
It's the other players, and yeah, they're going to lose minutes and they're going to lose touches, but you have to find ways to keep them engaged.
Yes.
And that's the challenge. I'd also like with a full squad to see this team get at least 3 points per game better defensively. If they stay together for a month, I want to see that difference happen in less than. And this is where Ham's going to prove his mettle because with this roster, this would not have happened last year under Wolf.
Right. Yep. That's fair. It's fair. So that's going to be something to watch. I mean, the other thing that came out yesterday, just a quick side note, Brock Purdy out at least 6 months with a torn UCL. So that's pretty significant. So the question is, what do the Niners do? That's something we're going to discuss on the other side of the break. I just want to throw that out there. Also, in today's truncated show, we will talk NBA trade deadline for the first time and probably do a quick top 5. That'll be the show for today. But I wanted to kind of throw that out there because there's a lot of moving parts with this, a lot of potential directions the Niners can go. So we'll kind of break that down. But one last thought on this game tonight, Rich. What do you think is a more pivotal defensive matchup for the Lakers? Is it slowing the scoring and rebounding of Randall, or is it slowing the dribble penetration of Jalen Brunson? Because unfortunately for the Lakers, they're not good at slowing anything.
They've got to do something about Randall. They're not going to slow Brunson. They don't have the guards for it.
Right.
If they would have had Westbrook 7 years ago, it may have helped.
Yep.
But he's a shell of himself defensively. They could try Beverly on him a little bit just to mess with him. And that's about what Beverly gives you right now.
Right.
Try to get him out of his game.
Yep.
Because he doesn't stop anyone anymore either.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, he's not a young guy.
Right.
What is Beverly?
Right.
33, 34?
Yeah.
Something
34.
Like that, right?
34.
Yeah, there you go. So
yeah. Davis has to play his A game. I don't care if a fingernail's hurting him. He has to play his A game. And he's got to make Randall work for what he gets.
Oh, he cares if a fingernail's hurting him.
Well,
maybe he cares a little too much.
I just keep the bubble wrap handy and let's get it over with.
That's right.
No, he's got to take that matchup.
Yes.
Or I don't think they win.
Yeah. I agree.
Because like you said, they don't stop anything. They're not going to stop the dribble penetration. They've got to make Randall work very hard for what he gets. They've got to get him to overshoot. And when he gets frustrated, he will overshoot. Although that's happened a lot less this year.
Yeah, see, I think you can't rely on – I agree with everything you said. The one thing I'll add is I think Randall has matured to the point that you can't rely on him playing with frustration mistakes if you happen to get to him early, the way you used to be able to. And that's part of what makes this Knick team, I think, good this year. Is they don't beat themselves. So you're going to have to beat them. So I think Davis is just going to have to outproduce Randall. And look, he should be able to. I mean, Anthony Davis is one of the most talented, most productive players in the NBA over the last decade. Like, there's no reason he shouldn't be able to match or surpass Randall's production tonight. And to your point, and I agree 100%, if he doesn't, I don't think they can win. I agree with you.
And the other thing that concerns me is what's Tibbs going to have drawn up? He's not just going to let stuff happen.
Oh, of course not. But now on the flip side,
although you tell me without Mitchell Robinson, who has a shot of bothering Davis inside?
Yeah. I mean, Hartenstein, maybe with the big body, like could muscle him around. He's not going to block shots, but he might.
Couldn't stay with him.
You might be able to push him around a little bit. Yeah, but you're right. Davis is going to be out there on the perimeter. No, that's true. And the other thing is
if Davis parks himself in the low block, they don't have anyone to stop it.
My question is, what about LeBron in this one? Because I mean, the Knicks don't have. I mean, no one can stop LeBron. We know that. But but the Knicks really don't have any big wings to speak of. The only guy I could think of that at least has the body and the legs to, try to bother him some is Obi Toppin. I would not be surprised if Toppin played bigger minutes than usual tonight for that reason.
He'll probably foul out.
He probably will.
But yeah.
I mean, because you're not going to put Barrett
on. The fact he's going to get 38 and 9 at least. and just move on with working everyone else.
That's right.
Because remember, they have to guard Randall.
Right.
They have to guard. I mean, they have to guard their guards. They have to guard Barrett.
Yep. Maybe that's what the Knicks do. Maybe the Knicks put Randall on LeBron. That's possible.
I don't think so.
That's a lot of work for Randall, but I mean, like,
do you want him working that hard on that end and having to provide?
I mean,
offensively,
I probably wouldn't start the game with that, but if LeBron's just going out there and like just manhandling, let's say you put, I don't know, Fournier or Barrett on him to start with, and they can't do anything with him, or Grimes. I probably would use Randall to try to see if a little bigger body and little muscle could slow him down a little bit. I would be prepared to put him on him for stints. Yeah.
I wouldn't want him on too long.
I think the good thing with LeBron is he's generally a half court surgeon. He's not running all over the place, really, because he doesn't have to.
He
But
still can.
oh, he can.
Believe me.
Oh, he can do it. I'm just saying it's not his I'd much rather guard LeBron than someone like De'Aaron Fox at this stage, because Fox is just
Well, yeah.
he never stops moving, and he's an Energizer bunny. So
that is true.
So there you have it. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We will dive into the 49ers quarterback situation. It is interesting now that their offseason has officially begun. A lot of different angles and possibilities. We'll break them down as best we can for you. Back after this 1 hour edition of the Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave.
Are you like me? You have health insurance, but you don't have dental insurance. Do you need to get to the dentist right away? Maybe you need an implant or some other major service. Well, I found a dental insurance plan that's just right for you. It's called Spirit Dental. Spirit Dental offers a $100 lifetime deductible, a huge network of dentists. And here's the best part. There's no waiting periods. Yeah, that means you can call right now and have real dental insurance for you and your family tomorrow and get that immediate coverage you want. Spirit Dental has plans for just a few dollars a day, up to $5,000 annual maximum, and coverage for implants. Whatever age you are, the dental insurance you need is a free phone call away. Now don't wait, and be sure to ask about Spirit's vision plan. Here's the number: 800-631-9229. 800-631-9229. That's 800-631-9229.
Hey friend, life happens and you need money. What do? You call the special toll-free number we're about to give you. We will send you a link to your phone with details on how you can loan up to $5,000. Couldn't you use $5,000 to pay for your rent, pay grocery bills, get your car repaired, or whatever you need? It's up to you. We don't care. We're just here to lend you the money. And we'll lend people money with good, bad, or no credit at all. Of course, some terms and conditions apply, and you'll see those on the link we're going to send you. So if you need up to $5,000 maybe as soon as the next business day, call this number right now. We will text you a free link with details.
Paid for by Money Mutual. Call 800-586-7112. 800-586-7112. 800-586-7112. That's 800-586-7112.
All right, we're back. It's good to have you aboard. So the 49ers quarterback situation, rather precarious. They have Brock Purdy, Jimmy Garoppolo, and Trey Lance under contract right now.
Is Garoppolo under contract?
He might be a free agent.
I think he is.
Yeah, okay. So those are the three guys. Garoppolo, I believe we can double check that, but I think you're right. I think he is a free agent. They've been linked to Tom Brady and to Aaron Rodgers. I personally believe the way you make this decision is you first decide. Let's look at it this way. They're not committing to Garoppolo. We know that. Are you committing to Lance or Purdy? And if so, which one? If you make that decision, I think you probably have to then trade the other one and sign some type of veteran backup to stabilize your roster. So I'm thinking like an Andy Dalton, a Nick Foles,
Right.
someone of that sort. Then that's what you go forward with. Now, if you're not committing to Purdy or Lance, then you need to move both of them. First, you got to sign the guy you think you're going forward with. Because I think Purdy is in that position where he did just enough this year that even if you brought in a Brady or a Rodgers, there would be a noisy element of your fan base that would be wanting you to go forward with Purdy, even if you kept him on the roster as the backup to one of those legends. And I think there probably would be even a group of players on the team that would want that. So I think you're setting yourself up for a uncomfortable situation. Now, the gamble is we can balance it for 1 year. One of these guys wins us the Super Bowl. So I think it's possible you can use Purdy as a backup for a year and then bring him back as the starter. I don't think
That's the way I feel.
I don't think you can do that with Trey Lance.
No, you cannot.
I think Lance is like a kind of lost cause. I think you just need to move on from him and cut your losses and just say it was a bad pick. But
yeah, well, it was 4 bad picks.
Well, yeah, because they traded him, right?
You gave up 3 number 1s to move up to get him.
Yeah, that's pretty
not a good look.
That's pretty substantial. But you don't want to throw good money after bad, so to speak.
Right.
The other thing you could do is you could just move on from both of them, Lance and Purdy, go after a veteran, Brady or Rodgers, and then, figure out the future later. I think that's probably the worst option.
Yeah.
My preference would be I would like Rodgers. But I would be fine going into next year with Brock Purdy and a veteran backup. Now, whether that's Jimmy Garoppolo, which would be my preference, but I think he's probably going to want to go somewhere where he's more wanted and maybe has a chance to start, which I don't blame him.
Don't be too sure.
Well, no, I'm not. That's why I said I think.
He feels awful that he wasn't ready yet to be there when Purdy went down. He also feels there's unfinished business there. So I think you can get him for another year.
Well, that would be my choice. I would like to have Garoppolo and Purdy in here next year. And I'm even okay with a truly open quarterback competition in the preseason because I think both of those guys are of the mental maturity that they'll both accept the outcome without moping and whining and being a problem. I think they both have the strength of character to do that.
You mean unlike elections?
Yes. I mean, unlike elections.
Good.
I mean, unlike elections. Anytime the Democrats lose, they cry.
Oh, no. Republicans don't, right? Let's talk about that idiot in Arizona.
Well,
don't even start. It's not a one-way street, dude. It's a two-way street.
Yeah, it's a two-way street. Democrats on the left and the right. But yeah, I personally would not be going after Brady or Rodgers. Ultimately, I wouldn't. I personally think you're better off just going with the guys you have. Look, if you can manage to get a guy, like it would be one thing if Rodgers or Brady were 32 or 33, then I would be singing a very different tune. The reality is you're looking at a 1 or a 2 year deal at the most. And you have at least one guy in Purdy who is young and shown some ability. I'm not throwing that out. That's just me. But
nor do you want to. But I would if I had a choice out of the two, I would probably side Brady for.
Yeah, no, I would rather Rodgers.
Rodgers wants to throw deep and do a lot of things that
good.
Rodgers does, and I think Brady would be better for the offense they like to run.
Well, I think that I don't know that this is the offense they like to run or the offense they can run based on the personnel they have.
They're effective at it.
No, I understand that, but what I'm saying is Rodgers, I believe, gives you that deep dimension that they currently lack. I believe that the only reason they don't do that more is because they don't have a quarterback to do it. They have the skill personnel to do it. I mean, Samuel can get deep, no problem. So can Ayuk. They don't do it because they don't have a quarterback that they really feel can do it. Now
Or they
Purdy,
don't give a quarterback time to do it either.
well, Purdy was sort of beginning to grow into that. We saw more deep passes from him in 3 weeks than we saw from the team the whole season. It felt like. So I personally think that that's in the offense, and it's probably something Shanahan wants to do, but he hasn't really felt he could yet. So yeah, if I had my choice of the two, I would take Rodgers, but my first choice is none of the above. I'd rather go forward with Purdy and a backup, whether it's Garoppolo or some other veteran. That would be my approach.
If you get one of the two veteran quarterbacks, both make a great story.
They do, because they both have ties to the area. They're both kind of
Right.
from the area. No, that's
Right.
true. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not going to be thinking
I mean, and that's something we're always looking for anyway.
yeah, right. I mean, look, I'm not going to be thinking the Niners did something stupid if they signed Tom Brady. I'm going to be conflicted in whether I'm rooting for them or not. Because I'm always more about the players than I am about the teams, and I don't think I can bring myself to root for Brady, no matter what team he's on. Rodgers, I like better. I'll freely admit that. I absolutely don't like Brady at all. So that's a big part of the reason why I would personally rather Rodgers. But from a analytical, like cold perspective, I would rather neither. I just don't think they need to go that route. I think
See how they feel.
Well, we'll see. I guess that's what we're going to find out. We're breaking down every angle here, and we'll see which
Again,
way
it
goes.
all depends on, is the 6 months. I mean, can Purdy come back at the beginning of August?
Well, because remember, 6 months from now, yeah, like you said, it's the beginning of August. Even if it's 8 months, and let's say he misses the first
Beginning of October.
two weeks, because when does the regular season start? Labor Day, basically, right before
Yeah.
Labor Day. So
Right.
even if he comes back in 8 months, you're talking only a couple of games. As long as you have a sound backup with this roster and coaching staff, I have every confidence that an Andy Dalton could win a couple of games for you with this team and that coach. Like, so, it's not like it would be a different story if they said he's out for 18 months. Then
Right.
I'm not ready to throw away next year on an Andy Dalton type, because this is an otherwise Super Bowl contending team. I then would probably say, yeah, go for one of the guys, because, we have a window to win a title like now. But being that he's likely to be back either at the start of the regular season, slightly before, or just after, I say bring him back, have a capable veteran behind him, and go forward with that. And then if the money you were going to spend on Rodgers or Brady, spend that on some offensive line help, and maybe another slot guy, another receiver of some kind, or another defensive back. But I don't think this team needs a lot. Like, I think they can pretty much run it back next year and be fairly confident that if their health holds up, they're just as good as anybody in the NFL. And so we'll see. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We got one quick thing to do as it relates to we have the top 5, and then the last thing is we have some NBA trade deadline stuff. Trade deadline is coming around the corner, February 9th, so just over a week. 9 days to be exact, or 10 days to be exact, excuse me, including today. So over the next few shows, we're going to do a couple of teams per show and just break down what they could do, should do, and are likely to do. Could, should, and likely. Those will be the 3 things we look at today. We're going to look at the Knicks, the Nets, and the 76ers. We'll do that next. The Gary Ayd Show back after this here on The Cave.
Do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call. Because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at crazy low prices. They have access to great prices and discounts at over 500 different airlines. Plus 300,000 hotels and rental car companies. Their prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find the best price for you. Call SmartFares today and get ready to see the world with a fat wallet.
800-370-2460. 800-370-2460. 800-370-2460. That's 800-370-2460.
Come on, you watch the news. Be prepared to pay more taxes. Then if you owe back taxes or haven't filed in a few years, get ready. The IRS, the largest collection agency in the world, will be coming after you with the power to collect taxes by any means they want to. Hey, they can freeze your bank account, your passport, even padlock your business. Oh, good times. Look, if the IRS claims you owe them $5,000 or more in back taxes and they're coming after you, don't panic. Call my friends at Get a Tax Lawyer first. Their job is to negotiate with the IRS and save you money. They're experts at it. That's all they do, and you can trust them. In some cases, they have reduced a $50,000 tax bill to less than $1,000. If you owe the IRS $5,000 or more in back taxes, call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-649-8617. 800-649-8617. 800-649-8617. That's 800-649-8617.
All right, we are back. It's good to have you aboard. So we have the Knicks, the Nets, and the 76ers taking a quick look at the trade deadline needs for the three teams. I think it's pretty clear, Rich, that the Nets, more than anything else, need another guy that can do a little scoring in the event that Durant and Irving are down or one of them's down, and they need some type of rim protector. Those are probably the two things when I look at that roster, I say they're lacking. I mean, Ben Simmons is not the player he was a few years ago in terms of an offensive threat. Yes, some nights he'll give you 13, but a lot of nights he'll give you 3. He does other things. I'm not saying he's useless, but you can't rely on him when Durant's down to go from averaging 12 to 20 or even 12 to 15. He's not going to do that. So
I don't even consider him. So I don't even know why.
I mean, because at one point he was that.
This is not that.
And it's not.
Unfortunately.
Right. So it's time
I agree with you on both points. They do need a shot blocker. I think they need that one first. I think they have a scorer sitting on their bench. I just can't figure out why they don't play him.
Oh, you're talking about TJ Warren.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
They could replace some points. They just choose not to do it. I don't know what to do about that.
Yeah, that's tough.
The Knicks are going in hard for Anunoby. They're willing to pay a big price, I hear.
Wow. I mean, that does make sense with what Thibodeau likes to do and what he brings to the table.
Oh, he's a great defender.
Yeah, he is. So I do understand that. I really do.
And he's 25. Now, the Knicks have shown a willingness, from what Sham said, to offer multiple first-round picks for Anunoby. But he also said the Suns have 8 until 2030, and they're interested. They've got the picks to throw around.
You know, I really like Anunoby. I really do.
I do too.
Is he worth
he can score.
3
He's got
first-round
great.
picks?
He's got great wingspan. He's an excellent defender. One of the better perimeter defenders.
Yeah, he is. No, there's no question about it.
Out there. He'll give you 16, 17 a night. He runs the floor like you wouldn't believe. His wingspan is immense for a guy his size. He's worth 2 firsts. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I mean, I guess.
Well, you can draft someone with that fairly low first and hope they develop.
That's what I was just going to say. I guess with where the Knicks are headed these days, those firsts are more like mid to late first rounders. They're probably somewhere in the 18 to 22 range. So, or
right.
17
if it's not
to 20.
A top 8 pick, I don't worry about
it. Yeah. No, I okay. I agree. I guess I'm so used to the Knicks having the chance at the lottery that
I
I'm
know.
thinking, oh no, the 2 picks. Oh wait, they're actually decent. Never mind. They're not as scary.
Well, habits die hard, my friend.
That's right. Well, it's been a 30-year ingrainment. I mean, my God, they've had like 5 good years since I was like in like 4th grade. So it's like I'm just so used to them not being good, or even
I
relevant.
mean, and look, it makes sense too. The Raptors got to decide on what direction they're taking.
Yes. Yeah.
Do they lose a lot by losing on Not if they get 2 first-round picks. Even if they're lower first-round picks, they can combine them and trade up.
Right. Right.
And they have Scotty Barnes and Pascal Siakam. They're not going to be hurting for starting forwards.
Well, that's the reason. I mean, I think the picks, I think it's kind of a trying to use 2 sides of the same coin. I think that they do not gain much with the picks for the same reason that the Knicks don't lose much with those picks. They're late first round picks, most likely. But the other point is well taken, which is if there is a style of player that they can afford to mortgage during whatever type of rebuild they're going to do or whatever direction they're going to take, it is the versatile forward because they have 3 of these guys right now.
It's an embarrassment of riches at the wing position.
Yes.
It really is.
Yes.
And remember, not only is Anunoby a straight-up defender, he's leading the league in steals this year, too. So he's also very good
in the passing lanes, yeah.
Yes, he would be very worthwhile for me.
Yeah. And then I guess if you bring him in, your starting lineup, when healthy, looks something like Brunson, Barrett, Anunoby, Randall, and Robinson.
Yes.
That's pretty good. You got guys like Grimes and Toppin coming off the bench along with Quickly. Yep. And then Fournier in there. That's a pretty good 9-man rotation right there. You got Hartenstein as your backup big.
Right. It's nice.
That's a good club. Yeah,
that's nice. And Tibbs ain't going to go deeper than that in the playoffs.
No. Tibbs.
In fact, he won't go that far.
No, Tibbs maybe will go 7 deep in the playoffs. I mean, realistically.
And out of that 10, you could pull Fournier out and one of the other 2, Grimes or.
Yeah, I think.
Or I think Grimes will stay, actually.
I think Grimes and Quigley would be the most likely guys to maintain minutes in a truncated rotation. And then you would have to get a little minutes for. I think
Hartenstein will get some.
Yeah, you'll have to go
just because of foul trouble.
Foul trouble, and you're not going to play Randall and Robinson 48 minutes, so obviously you're going to have to get him a breather at some point.
But I don't think he'll go more than 8.
No,
and Fournier is the first guy to fall off of that.
Yeah, Fournier and probably Toppin too.
Yeah, unless they need the size.
Well, that's what you put in Hartenstein. I would say Toppin would get in if you needed more like versatility.
Yeah,
with some size. But yeah, I think it's been clear that Thibs seems to like Hartenstein more than he likes Toppin in that back end of his rotation to this point. But we'll see. And last,
he's more reliable.
He is. That's the thing, right? All right, last team I want to hit today is the Philadelphia 76ers. There's not an obvious need on this team in terms of
there's not.
On-court personnel.
They have to use what they have better.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. Maybe they could use, everyone can, one more shooter. I never thought they quite replaced the duo of Redick and Curry from a few years ago. Maybe they could use a shooter. That would probably be, if I was going to make a move and I was them, I'd be on the lookout. I would be calling Miami about Duncan Robinson for when he's healthy. I would be calling maybe San Antonio for perhaps Jacob Poeltl. They are a little thin in the front court in terms of the depth department. But they don't have like a real obvious big need. To your point, they just have to utilize their roster better. And, as long as Embiid is there and healthy, there's a certain level of aptitude they're always going to have because of him. He carries them on a nightly basis.
And the only other thing I would look at, if they're not going to find a way to get Harris involved in the offense, trade him.
Right.
I would move him on the trade deadline if you can't fit him,
Right.
because it's just a waste of a roster spot.
Right. And a waste of money and a waste of his talent. Yeah, because I mean, you look at it and you think, well, you want a guy, you need that third scorer, but for him to be that third scorer, you need to let him try to score. So, like,
Right.
why doesn't he get touches? Is he just not assertive enough? Does he just allow himself to sort of get lost? Like, I don't know, because I mean, James Harden is a lot of things, but a ball hog is not one of them. I mean, the guy does move the ball.
He does.
So where's
He possesses it too long, but
yeah,
he does move it.
Yeah, he kind of does take the air out of it a little bit, but where is Harris? I mean, like, who's Harden keep passing to? I mean, like, so at some point, Harris himself has to bear some of the responsibility for his lack of involvement also.
He does.
I
He
mean,
does, but they also don't get enough out of him.
well, yeah, I'm sure it's more that it's not a straightforward thing, but the bottom line is that might be the direction to go. Maybe it's just a question of you have to answer the question of why doesn't this guy fit? Why aren't we getting the most out of him? Can we convert him into another similarly talented offensive player that would fit better and be more assertive or productive in whatever we're running? Maybe
that's going to come down to coaching.
Maybe that's the way to look at it.
You have to adapt to your personnel. It's that simple.
I'll give you a guy that's interesting. What about Keldon Johnson in San Antonio? I feel like that guy is a pretty good offensive player.
He's a very good offensive player.
And maybe he would be an interesting guy to see moved, whether it's to the Sixers or any other team for that matter. He would just be a really interesting guy to see moved, I think. I would like to see, he's one of those guys I would like to see in relevant games. Is Keldon Johnson for San Antonio. He's a really good player. All right, so that's that. Let's take our last break.
Before we go away from that, real quick. The Suns have given permission to the Bucks to meet with Jay Crowder.
Yes. Good move for Milwaukee if they're able to.
Very good. They need some depth behind behind Middleton, because he still does not look right.
No, Crowder is not going to give you anywhere near the offense that Middleton gives you. He'll give you 9 to 12 points on a night, and he'll play some good defense, and he'll fit, and he'll move without the ball. He'll find the open spots. He's a pro. He's a pro.
And I know we're short today, but geez, let's give some props for another 50-point Luka outing last night.
Oh, yeah. I almost forgot about that. Yeah, 53 points last night.
Yes.
Yes.
Jamal Crawford on the postgame show on NBA TV said it best. He said everybody's out there moving frantically, and he says the music in his head is smooth jazz. He doesn't rush his moves. He makes them when he needs to. He makes them when he wants to, and you can't stop it.
That's right. It's smooth jazz.
I love Jamal Crawford, by the way.
That's well said. That's well said.
And another brilliant night from Damian Lillard last night.
Yeah, he's been on a roll.
I watched that from beginning to end. What a game.
Yeah, he's been on an absolute tear, Damian Lillard. There's no question about it.
That 129-125 win was the best game of the night for me. It was exciting. It went back and forth.
Yeah, but them in Atlanta, that was a great game.
Yeah. I was there for the whole thing. I think I even texted you at night. I'm like, oh no, did I wake him?
Now, I saw the text come in. I don't think I responded. I was like right at that stage where I'm like just getting ready to fall asleep.
Yeah.
So I had enough energy to read it, but not enough energy to write back.
I knew after I sent it, but
yeah,
that was just dumb.
Yeah, that's all right. No worries. All right, let's take our last break. We'll come back. We'll wrap things up. It's the Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave.
Do you own a timeshare? Well, face the facts. You made a mistake. You made a bad purchase. A timeshare is not an investment. It's a money pit that continues forever. If you use your timeshare, that's great. But if you don't and you want to legally get out of your contract, call my friends right now at the Timeshare Exit Hotline. They're an experienced team of lawyers who help good people like you get out of a timeshare contract that they just don't want. Don't throw away your money on maintenance fees. Use it for things you really want. We can help you end your timeshare contract and stop the money drain immediately. If you are ready to move on with your timeshare, call our team right now.
Cancel your timeshare now with a free call. 800-741-9557. 800-741-9557. 800-741-9557. That's 800-741-9557. If you're living with diabetes and using insulin, you know the pain of pricking your fingers over and over again. Ouch! Well, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce the pain of pricking your fingers. If you administer insulin 3 or more times per day or use an insulin pump, call now and learn how a CGM can help you.
Painless. No more pricking my finger.
No finger pricks.
Convenience. They delivered it free and they took care of all the paperwork.
You can reduce pain right away. Plus, it's accurate, easy to use, and helps you spend more time in range. And if you have insurance, you can get a new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost. Call now and get free shipping of your new CGM. Plus, we'll bill your insurance for you. 800-826-5884. 800-826-5884. 800-826-5884. That's 800-826-5884.
Here's a fun stat for you. The Lakers, when LeBron is on the court, have a point differential greater than the 33-17 Bucks. And when he's off the court, they have a worse point differential than the 15-36 Hornets.
Wow.
Someone just sent me that over the break. I just wanted to share that. All right,
That says a little.
that says a little something. All right, that's that. I'm not going to dwell on that. Let's do a quick
The Bucks do not have a great
point differential.
point
No, they don't.
differential.
No, they don't.
They don't.
No, but
They
the
just win.
the Hornets have a terrible one though. That's
Yes,
really
they do.
that's really the part that makes that fact crazy. It's not that the
Yeah,
Lakers have a what is the Bucks point differential, 1.8 or 2 point something. Like,
less than 2.
yeah, so it's not that they have such a high differential when LeBron is on the court. It's that it falls off a cliff to such a degree when he's off. Because I mean, the Hornets are what, -6.5 or -7 or something like that. So
Yeah, they're not Spurs level, but they're not far
yeah,
off.
they're about -6, I think. Anyway, we got a couple of minutes. Let's do some news you can use. What kind of bullets we got today? Anything interesting?
Okay, yeah, we do. The Vancouver Canucks traded Bo Horvat to the Islanders.
Everybody knows Bo.
One of the best scorers in the game. He's got 31 goals this year. The Islanders made a smart move. Their problem is goal scoring. This guy helps provide that. They gave up Anthony Beauvillier, veteran player, a good, solid player. Atu Ratu, a rookie from Finland.
Atu Ratu. Wonderful name.
And it's not spelled that way, but it's so cool.
That's a wonderful name.
And a 2023 first-round pick, but it's lottery protected. If it falls in the top 12, Islanders would send Vancouver a pick the next year.
Gotcha.
This was the preeminent name for the trade deadline, and he's moved a month before the deadline actually happens.
There you go.
There are reports that Stetson Bennett's stock could take a hit following his arrest.
See, I tried to get ahead of this yesterday with my take on it, because the bottom line is this is a 20-something-year-old kid who went out and had drinks. No one got hurt. Everyone's fine. Like,
that's the good news.
Let's not make this a bigger deal than it is. The truth of the matter is what he did is something that millions and millions of people do every day with no repercussions either to them or anyone else. Being drunk out of your house, which is the technical definition, the legal definition of public intoxication. If you're not driving, you ever walk down Main Street in a college town? Do they write all them tickets every Saturday? Like, come on, people. Let's have a little. This is one things they never liked about the law. It often doesn't leave any room for just common sense and like perspective and context. Like, let's have some context of what he really did here, which is really not much.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Was he driving a car?
I haven't heard that. That's a different animal. If he's driving, that's different. If he's driving drunk,
Right.
that's different.
But if he's just walking drunk,
Right. Well, because I'm gathering it's that because the charge is public intoxication. If he was driving, it would be DUI
would be a
and
DUI,
DWI.
right?
So I'm assuming, based on the wording of what I've read, that he was not behind the wheel, which is why I'm so kind of ambivalent about it. Because, like, okay, like, what do you want him to do? What is he going to go into the clergy? Is he going to be a celibate and like drive? Like, come on, like, so you drink and what are you supposed to do? Like, teleport home? Like, what? Like, you don't want him to drive, of course, no one does. So you walk home. Like, come on, man. I don't know. Like,
Yeah, that bothers me. First of all, if I'm going to downgrade him from a third round pick, it's going to be because he's about 5'10" and a half.
right. Yeah, if you want to tell me you don't think he's any good, okay, I get it. That's fine. That's just the nature of the beast. But don't
And I can't even say he's not good. I can just say he's so small.
right.
I mean, he's crafty, and those guys find a way. Drew Brees was a hair
Yes.
under 6 foot.
Yep.
So
Yep. No, that's right.
I'm not going to say it's impossible, but I don't think I'd spend a third round pick on him, and it has nothing to do with if he got drunk.
No, and that's perfectly fair. That's perfectly fair. I have no personal excitement level in terms of his prospects as a player. But my only
Right.
point was this incident, and I'm using that term very broadly. This incident should have no bearing on it one way or the other. It really shouldn't even be an incident. It's like the guy had some drinks and he walked home.
Right.
Like, what's the big deal about
It
that?
should be nothing. I commend him for not getting behind the wheel.
Well, that's what I mean. Like that exactly. I mean, you could say, well, he should have gotten a Lyft home or an Uber or something. Like, what if he lives 3 blocks away? He's not a millionaire yet.
Right.
Like, are you gonna spend $30 and wait 40 minutes or whatever it is to go 5 blocks? I mean, I don't know. I don't know how far he was away. I don't know any of these details. I'm just saying,
Right.
hypothetically, if he walked, I presume he was really close by wherever he was going, right? Like, that's a fair assumption. So with that in mind, if I'm walking distance from a place at 2 a.m. or whatever time it was after I'm out of the bar, am I gonna pay and maybe wait? And depending where I am, Ubers and Lyfts aren't readily available at all hours of the night every place. Yeah, they are in big cities. They're not necessarily everywhere else. So I just
And you may also be in a neighborhood where you don't want to be either.
well, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of factors. But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to get on the guy over that. All right. Last thing to say for today is if you are a fan of the Knicks, tonight is a game to watch against the Lakers. We open with the show. We'll close with that. Definitely be watching that tonight. We'll talk about it more tomorrow. Back to a full schedule tomorrow. The Gary Ayd Show. See you tomorrow here on The Cave.